Magical journey ahead. Fucking episode 7. I will not explain my leave. I mean, I had burnout, but at this point, it's just embarrassing to even call myself a podcaster. I am not. I'm just a random person who sometimes feels like talking to strangers. So, with this said, in the last how many years was I away? 1, 2 years? So much has happened. I finished my energy medicine practitioner training. I've worked in the field. I did more mushrooms. I did ayahuasca, and I'm getting closer to who I am and all the information that I ever wanted to know about the universe and everything. So I just want to let you in on some things. And I was going through all my old stuff, just trying to find out where I left off. And it seems like I was in the middle of my education, and it's crazy how much has happened. I have a full tribe now. I have people I can talk to. I have finally found people who know way more than I ever could, kind of. Even though I feel I'm very advanced at the moment. Like if I listen to my first episodes, I'm like, wow, this little innocent child, and now I'm a grown-ass woman. I don't know, forest priestess. I work with the energies. I work with Earth, and I work with the universe, and I work with the shrooms. So it's crazy to me what happened in the meantime. Even though I kind of feel stuck at the moment because I had burnout and I had to quit everything that I was doing. You know, like a girl got to survive. So I did content creation for people, and it just fries your brain. Also, my ADHD medication was messing with the effects of my mushroom trips. So the Ritalin, I don't know, it kind of closes you off. And I'm off Ritalin for half a year now, and now the effects of the mushrooms and the visuals and everything, they're coming back. It might have also been ayahuasca. I had a really, I cannot know. I know people had way more extreme experiences or way more intense experiences with ayahuasca. Mine was quite mild, and I didn't get a full dosage. I was kind of scared too. Um, but I mean, I can tell you a little bit about the ayahuasca because this episode has no structure or anything. I'm just getting you up to speed. Or you can let me know whatever you want to know. Uh, like I said, I'm a Reiki practitioner now. I do rituals, I do cacao ceremonies, and shaman's work. Like, I'm not a shaman as well. The word doesn't exist, actually. It's a page in some languages, but the word shaman is kind of a made up construct. So, us folks that are not in tune with nature have something to put a label on it. That's what it basically is. It's just people who live in sync with nature and the universe and the animals and the plants and everything, and they're born into a lineage usually. Then on the other hand, I feel like, imagine if r- being reborn is a thing, right? Like coming back to earth. Imagine you were a Buddhist or you were a shaman in your life before, and you were like, oh my god, I want to know, I want to let other people know what is going on, like the connection to earth. And I saw those people over there, they're so disconnected, and when I'm getting reborn, I want to be I don't know, a Spanish Karen. um Imagine you being born like that, and then you dive into the old ancient practices and everything, and then people call you, like, oh, this is not your culture, you have no right to even introduce people to that kind of work, like, like the word cultural appropriation. I know it's triggering, probably, or some people might get offended by that, but just imagine you were a Buddhist before and you're coming back to earth because that's the way you chose, and people punish you for spreading the not even news, um the knowledge. But obviously there's people who just don't get it. I understand, like, there's people who just make money out of it. And the more I'm in the spiritual business, it's business, almost. Like if you're on Instagram, TikTok, anything, you will realize, like, there's it's so hard to see if someone is really genuine about the work or if they just want to make money. Anyway, there was another ADHD side quest. You're welcome. Back to the ayahuasca trip. So I had a little ayahuasca, but I had also like a very intense experience in the meaning of I've been working on myself so much. Not just shrooms, but I've been to therapy like really once a week. I've been working through my childhood traumas, nervous system regulation, which is the gold standard for ADHD. And nervous system regulation is not just like tapping your knees left and right or something like that, or being in the moment and just like breathing and calming down. It's like going back in there to the first time you ever experienced this anxiety, this feeling that is coming up, that is dysregulating you, naming it, visualizing it, healing it. Because it's always a version of you that had experienced something very extreme, something where you felt helpless and you needed support. And that's what you do as a grown-up. You reparent yourself. You do the things that others couldn't do for you. And you're kind of changing the timelines there. That's why sometimes when you have a very intense therapy session, you go out and you feel so much better and you feel so much lighter. That's because time isn't linear and you just travel back in your imagination and hug that little child that was so sad, that was so scared, or whatever happened. Usually it's a child. Like some people start with different ages, but you can all track it back to a child, to you as a child. So, and then you feel so much lighter. And that's because you change timelines. And it's a tiny, tiny shift. It's not like, boom, we don't, like, you're living in a different country or something like that. You just shift, like, it's such a tiny shift, but it does something. So yeah, the multiverse is real. Timelines are real. Back to ayahuasca. I'm so sorry. No, I'm not. This is me. This is who I am. If you can follow me, congratulations. Let me just take a sip of my tea. All right. So as I said, I was working very hard on myself. I've been diving into the abyss of everything that I could find. Dark Night of the Souls. I don't know how many I had, like 50. I can't even remember how many times I had to pick up myself from the ground, laying there crying my soul out, like feeling like I'm dying. And so I went into this, and I always wanted more and more and more. I still didn't feel good enough to just live as who I am. So I did the ayahuasca, and I was praising myself. Like my intention was like, hey, Mama Aya, maybe if I don't have to puke, please don't let me puke. Maybe make this a soft experience, please. I've been through a lot, but like, you do you, kind of. And there was a moment where I knew the medicine has arrived in my body after drinking it. And it was really like, she's here. I could hear that voice kind of like, she's here. And I knew Mama Ayahuasca has entered the stage. And I was like, okay, look, I know I told you like I need a soft trip or something, but I'm here, I'm ready. You do whatever you have to do. You and I hyped up that ayahuasca, and I was like, I'm ready. I'm here to take the pain. I'm here to take the experience. And Mama Ayahuasca, like in my mind, it was very visual. She said like, no. And I was like, no. And she kind of took me in her arms and she said, no, you've done enough. No more. You've done the work. It's enough. You don't have to suffer anymore. And every time I talk about this, I still start crying and I get shivers. So I know like the shivers are confirmation and I know it's real. And it was like I was crying like a baby in her arms. Because I felt so relieved that somebody finally took this kindness and say like, you've done the work, it's enough. It's okay, you don't have to dig deeper. You don't have to suffer more. And that was beautiful. But that was not the end of the trip. That was just the beginning. So when I calmed down from that message, like we kind of still went in. And it was a very strange, I don't know, I I have this thing, and I know I said it in the last episode where we took the hape tobacco, and one of the guys started crying really loud, and I started laughing in response to that. And with ayahuasca, I had something similar. There was one woman in our ceremony, she was puking her guts out. Like, I have never heard a noise like that before. And she, like, honestly, like, she didn't stop. It was ridiculous. And it sounded horrible. But to me, as you can see, like, I started laughing because I was like, this poor woman. And I started laughing, and I was like so happy, and I was like just laughing, and she was hurling everything up. And yeah, and it kind of, like, you get the shivers, your whole body starts like twitching, and like ayahuasca is just working through our energy layers and through the blockages. That's the shivering, and that's like the contractions and stuff like that. It's very subtle. It's nothing to be scared of or anything. But I just remember I was laughing about the sound and the whole situation, and how ridiculous it is that we're trapped in this little room and puking next to each other. And then the next thing I knew was like I was jumping from a bucket and was vomiting everything out that was inside of me. And from one second to the next, like, the happiness, which is also a release of energy. Like, you don't have to suffer and shake and cry all the time. Laughing is an amazing release for energy, for stuck energy, bad energy, whatever. So I was vomiting violently into my bucket. It's not that bad. It's like, it just happens. It's not, you cannot control it. You don't want to control it. You just want to get rid of it. You're happy to do it. And I felt the deepest numbing sadness of my life. Like, numbing is not the right word. I just felt the deepest sadness of my life. And I was crying my eyes out. And it felt like, to me, and until this day, maybe somebody knows it, please let me know in the comments. You can stay anonymous, I don't care. Until this day, I feel like it was somebody giving birth. It felt like I'm losing my mother. Like, it felt like my mother is dying in front of me, and they're taking me away from her. There was kind of blood somewhere or everywhere, and like this deep sadness of losing your mother. And to this day, I have no idea what it was exactly. Was it my birth trauma? Was it a trauma from, like, my grandmother, or like some ancestors? Like, what happened? Like, did my mother die? Did the baby die? Like, who died? Like, why? It was so sad. Like, and one of the facilitators, oh, she was so cute. She took my hair, she pulled it back, like, so I can vomit. And it was such a nice gesture, and I felt so held, and I felt so accepted, and like, I couldn't hold it back. Like, I was just grabbing her, and I was crying on her chest, and just like hugging her, like she was like my life vest somehow, and just crying this sadness out, and this loss. And yeah, and then it kind of was over. Like, the shivering started again. I wasn't sure. Like, it was a decision to not vomit anymore. There was like a clean cut. I felt it inside of me. There was like, okay, stop. And something that you need to know is, like, you can always talk to ayahuasca. It's not like you against the plant. It's like, she's a part of you. It is a part of you, the entity, whatever is entering. And you can always bargain with her, especially at a low dose. Maybe with the big dose, no, I don't know. I don't have that experience. You let me know, please. And yeah, what can I say except you're welcome? I often have this kind of visuals, like when I do rituals, and like, I have fibroids in my uterus, quite a lot, and doctors say I will never be able to have a kid, and I also had some embryolyzed, so they are dead, so I have that tissue, kind of, or yeah, something like that. And every time I'm trying to energetically get rid of it, because I've tried everything else, I'm like okay, the last resort is like taking out my uterus, which I don't want. And every time this picture comes up of loss of a baby, and I don't know why. It's always the same theme, and I'm feeling it and I'm crying it out, and then the pain stops from the fibroids. Like my fibroids give me hell. Like I wish I was dead. It's like sometimes like endometriosis, I guess. But yeah. And every time I cry that pain out of like imagining losing a baby, it stops. The pain, my physical pain stops, which is very interesting. And I don't know what I need to do. I don't know what I need to process for my ancestors, for myself, for my mother. Oh, sorry, I got cut off by my battery. So I don't know what I just said because I have ADHD and my brain doesn't work at this time of the day. Yeah, if somebody has suggestions, I think I'm going to take another ayahuasca trip. But it kind of did leave me feeling open. Like for half a year, I was not, I don't know, something needed to be processed that wasn't processed before. And it felt like a door is still open. And this was almost a year ago, maybe 3/4 of a year ago. And now I finally feel like I'm coming back to myself. Not that I wasn't myself before, but there was just a little thing, like you don't have to be scared of ayahuasca, honestly. But there's just a little thing that wasn't processed. And I didn't know how to process it. And it's kind of a very personal thing you do. And when you combine it with working for other people and working over your limits and not being able to communicate your boundaries because you haven't learned yet or you needed to learn, and that's a bad combination. So yeah, that doesn't summarize the last 1 or 2 years that I was offline. I also don't know when I will be coming back with more stories. I still need to listen to my old podcast episodes. But if you let me know what you want to know, that would give me motivation. Or anything like a share, not a share, please don't share my stuff. A like or a follow for my channel, or even like some critique. You can let me know like what I should improve. This is how I learn too. Otherwise it feels like I'm just talking to myself, which is fine too, I guess. My little diary here. So yeah, let's see when I will do my next episode. But I will definitely upload another shroom meditation. And yeah, because I gained some knowledge there too. All right. Thank you very much for listening again. And see you next time. Bye.